I'd like to start off to say congratulations to you guys, new Prime Minister in Jamaica. I read a quote that I think he posted saying that he won't let the people down, which I hope not, because Jamaica is definitely an island full of strong people. And I'm not quite sure why it went on so long to where the people has not been respected here in Jamaica. I don't understand why any government would allow companies, successful companies from the States or wherever, and plant their seed here and let it grow to where it's able to feed their families and not the island where they planted that seed. It makes no sense to me that you got your Sandals and your KFC and all these other wonderful successful businesses and allow those businesses to pay your people less than $2 an hour when your bread, your milk, your sugar, carton of eggs, those few things from the supermarket is how much they get paid in a day. It adds up to what they get paid in a day. Most of these families here can't even send their child to school every day. They got a shift method here. They have a couple days on, days off if you can't afford it for the poor families. How in the world do you expect anything to grow without knowledge? That doesn't make any kind of sense to me. No child that pops out their mother's womb has the control to say, okay, I'm going to make sure this is lined up so I'm able to stand on my feet. They're not strong. They're looking for their parents to build that for them. And for you guys not to give the tools needed for these families to make sure their children are successful. But these U.S. companies, $400, $500, sometimes $1,000 a night to stay at an all-inclusive resort. And when those people are in their wonderful, beautiful room that they spent all that money for and look up in the hills and say, oh, what a wonderful view. And not know between some of those trees lies a concrete halfway built house with 4 children in it. 2 of them can't go to school because the 2 oldest got to go hustle some cashews out in the middle of the road so the other 2 can go to school. When they looking back in a beautiful view. And the people in the mountains, children can't even eat. And they throwing away a half-bitten steak that they spent $80 on. How can anybody's government allow these people to plant their seed here and have that grow into a wonderful tree that feeds their family and send their children's off to a wonderful school and allow them to have the tools to continue that blessing and that success through their bloodline? So, Mr. Prime Minister, I hope you do whatever it is you can do to not let your people down, because they need somebody. They truly do. I am here almost a year now, and I've noticed so many different things that's so wrong on so many different levels. KFC is packed on the weekends. It is some good chicken. Much different than the States. I don't know what's different about it, but it is some good chicken. But about 2 o'clock in the morning, I believe they stay open on the weekends, and the line is ridiculously packed, which is good for KFC. But what the problem is these people getting paid $2 an hour. So my 1 2-piece meal comes up to about $6, $595. That's half of somebody's pay for that day. So why don't you guys have these people that's planting their seed in y'all soil And I'm not literally talking about a seed you put into the dirt and you grow on the tree. What I'm talking about is their businesses. That's a planted seed. Their business is planted on you guys' island. And it's grown to be very successful for their families. What do they do for the people here? Now, this is what I would have done. I ain't trying to be in nobody politics or nothing, so don't come shooting, chopping me up. This is a couple ideas. So why don't you guys have these companies? Okay, you want to build your business here? Perfect. But this is what we require. Every first of the year, we're going to need to get a big chunk of something, at least. Not even a big chunk. I ain't going to scare you away and say a big chunk. I'm going to say $3,000 per company, per year, for the education. First of all, the company should be willing to do that anyways, because they already know they're going to be successful building the business here in Jamaica. So it shouldn't even be a hesitation to help plant their seed here and be successful. And especially towards something that's positive like education. All of these companies together about $3,000 a year. No child should be having to figure out, or a parent have to figure out, oh, child can't eat this week because I gotta go pay $40 on a book. It's ridiculous. So if it was me, my island, that one thing would definitely go down. I think if half these people in the States knew, so I'm gonna let it all out, and I try as best as possible to get what I have to say off my chest through this phone and post it, and who knows, maybe the right person to hear it. But if people from the States knew that these people who's getting paid, their legal minimum wage is $1.80 an hour. And I kid you not when I say, and if you ever been to Jamaica, you know how the grocery stores are set up. You know how much it costs. And yeah, even though you're in a touristy area, when you come on down into town where they scare you to come to because there's more Jamaican businesses there, so they try to make sure you stay in your own protected bubble to keep your money with them. I'm just throwing that out there. Matter of fact, I'm gonna touch back on that. But if these people knew what these people was getting paid and how much food cost, I'm sure more people would not be willing to invest and eat at the KFC and everywhere else. They'll go more to Jamaican owned places. So now I'm about to touch back on what I had said in the first place. A lot of people come here and say, oh my God, I did not know Jamaica was so full of friendly people. I had such a wonderful time. I don't know why everybody says Jamaica is this crazy, horrible, crime filled up, convicted place. I'm gonna tell you why. Because when you Google, and we know you're gonna Google because you're from the States, and that's what we live off of. Google is the GPS of everything. So when you Google, and they know they don't even have the resources here to teach these people, social media, Google, the World Wide Web is their best friend. They don't have anything set up for them to even know how to navigate through it. Because remind you, they have to even pay to go to just learn to read and write. So of course they're going to have an extra. They don't have no kind of resources like that at all, as far as in teaching these people what they need to do. That's just out there before I get off track. So we're Googling people. So we Google. Only thing we see is Sandals, Holiday Inn, whatever other resorts they got out there, Half Moon, blah, 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 whatever. And they hear different stories, different blogs or whatever. Oh, Jamaica, make sure you stay at the hotel. They want you to stay in your protective bubble because they have the restaurants that you should go to because it's safe. They have the beach that you should go to because it's safe. They have the shopping stores you should go to because it's safe, because they want to keep all that money in their little pretty bubble. So they scare people to make them think that Jamaica is this awful, scary place full of big, bad monsters. because once you get out of that protective bubble, you're around a few Jamaican owned establishments, especially cooking places, and it's way better than the resorts food. Believe me, they can cook. You're gonna see the people hustling on the street with their shoes and their belts and whatever. Same website they got it from in their protective bubble store. But you're gonna be giving money to the Jamaican people, but they want to keep it all, so they scare you. And half of you do exactly that. Stay in your protective bubble. So that's just a little 411, thought you should know. But I got a little off my chest. Every now and again I just wake up and just say, oh, I'm just sick of it already. I have to get it off my chest. So new Prime Minister, I really truly hope you do something for your people, because they well deserve it. You have an island full of heroes. You have an island full of wonderful athletes. You have an island full of strong workers. And it's about time everybody know that. It's really, really sad that you guys can produce as much stuff here that we want in the States. It would be wonderful, instead of saying made in Mexico or China, made in Jamaica, some furniture. Come on now. There's too many ways here for this island to make money. And then I thought about when Portia was in office, why is she doing this to her people? But I didn't know she had to listen to some prince or a queen. So y'all be enslaved too. But somebody need to just talk to her and be like, hey, they needed at least a little bit more money, lady. I mean, come on now. So I know nobody want to get slayed and chopped and whatever else. But come on, people. These Jamaican people are some hard-working people, and they got it. You giving them the right tools that they need. That's probably why y'all afraid of them. I don't know, because they some strong people. They strong from the wound. Why? Because their mothers breastfed, eating from the earth, eating food from the ground. So they got this long train of just strong genes. And that's why they live into 100 and something years old. And that's the reason why they can work so hard. And that's the reason why they work so hard and deal with this old craziness y'all got dishing out to these people. You got to be a strong person to sit up here and wake up with a smile every day and go make your $2 an hour, knowing your pickney, your oldest is out there hustling cashews to make sure that you got to be a strong person. So I guess everything does happen for a reason. But again, I truly hope some kind of difference come to this island, because Jamaica is a brand, and if people knew what really going on in Jamaica, would be very shocked.